Want to know 5 of our top tips for shirt restorations? Then watch this video. Hello there, Will here from We Fix Kits. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 of our top useful tips that you can use while you're doing shirt restorations. They're relatively random tips, but I think you might find them useful. They're certainly useful to us, and we've learned them along the way. So the first tip or item I'm going to show you is this. This is double-sided fusible material. You can buy it from haberdashers or what have you as Wonderweb, and it will come in a long pack. This can be quite an expensive way to buy it. I bought like a 5-meter roll of this for next to nothing, and you can easily cut it into strips. And what this is it's got adhesive on both sides, so you can use this on shirts where the hem has started to come away. So the bottom of the shirt, sometimes it's quite common that this stitching comes away, and some of you might be very good on a sewing machine, so in that case you don't need to use the Wonderweb, you can just sew it. But I realised that sewing isn't something that everyone is going to be good at, so this is a little bit more of an accessible way of mending it. So all you do, you cut a strip of this out with a piece of hem that's come away, you slide it in. You then use some heat-proof tape to secure it in place so that the Wonderweb doesn't fall out. And then you follow the instructions for the fusible material, which is typically lay it on an ironing board, damp cloth over the top, hot iron it until the damp cloth becomes dry, and that should set it in place. So that's the first one there. Double-sided fusible or Wonderweb. The second one is around removing bobbles from shirts. So I've seen a number of different devices that can be quite costly, handheld battery-powered devices that you can use, fuzz busters or what have you, and you can use it to get rid of bobbles. What I've found is that some of them are okay, other ones less so, and actually what can happen is it can make an even worse pull when you get what was a bobble and then it gets pulled and makes it even worse. So what I've found useful is the good old disposable razor. You can get a pack of 20 of these for a couple of quid from a pound shop. Their blades do blunt very quickly, so don't use it too much, or don't use the same one for too long, because the blade will blunt and then you'll get less positive results. But with a shirt, you find the direction of the material. So on this England 98 shirt, the direction of the material is down. Some of them will be across, but for this it's down. And you literally just take the cap off, find a bobble, and on a flat surface or on a soft surface, you just shave down and it will get rid of the bobbles, and you'll see it start coming off onto the sticky bit on the razor. So, like I say, nice, cheap and easy way of getting rid of bobbles. It's not going to get rid of everything in the same way that there isn't any tool that will get rid of everything, but I've found these really useful. The next tip is brightening up block sponsors. Now, I've done a Twitter post about this, and again, for relatively low amount of money and not really that much effort, you can take a dirty or dusty or lint-filled block sponsor and really brighten it up. And the process that we follow is good old nappy sand. Soak the shirt in nappy sand for a couple of hours. Always remember that it can damage. If there's vinyl on the shirt, then don't use too hot of water. Also, you want to be careful that there's no colour run. So again, cool water in for the nappy sand is absolutely fine. But soak the shirt with a toothbrush. Just agitate the flock, and you'll see that that starts to bring the lint and the dirt and what have you together and starts removing it. Pull it through a wash, standard 30 delicate wash for football shirts. Always remember, don't use conditioner in the washing machine because that has a tendency to damage flock and vinyl. And then when you get it out and it's dried, you've got to get it to dry, you can use some of these split razors. So they're kind of there, they come from a cutthroat razor. So be careful with them because they're very sharp. But you just take it out and it looks like that. And again, like I say, be careful because they are very, very sharp. By definition, they're sharp. But you just, on a flat surface, you just scrape gently on the block with the razor, and it will start bringing together all of the impurities and the fluff and stuff that was on the sponsor before you washed it. And then once that's all brought together, use the good old lint roller and you go over it. Now, if a shirt or a block sponsor isn't dirty, it's just fluffy, or it's just got a lot of lint on it or dust, you may not need to do the first part. You may not need to wash it. You may get away with just giving it a scrape with this and then using the lint roller. And even though this wasn't really that dirty, it's actually, I've not really done much. I don't know if you can see the bar is actually a fair bit brighter now, certainly than it was, and then the L next to it. So there you go. That's another tip for the sponsors. Like I say, if you go on our Twitter page at WeFixKits, there's a post around how to do it, and there's a nice before and after for a Liverpool shirt that I freshened up. Now, the last hint and tip is about two tools that I use all of the time. First one, microfiber cloth. These, I think I bought 5 off of Amazon for 3-4 quid. They're reusable, they're washable. You'll see this one, it's got a few stains on and what have you, so the colour does come off of them. But like I say, they're washable and they're fine. But the point with these is that because they're microfiber, they're fantastic for rubbing on the front, so direct to the residue of typically vinyl name sets. So I've done videos in the past where you use VLR to the back of the vinyl name set. You use our next tip, which is the tool, but I'll show you that in a second, to scrape away the vinyl, and you keep doing that process until about 90 to 95% of the residue and the name set is, well, all of the name set, 90 to 95% of the residue is removed. You can then apply some VLR directly to the residue that's left using some cotton pad, or if you have to, direct from the nozzle. I wouldn't recommend that because it has a tendency to release too much VLR. But then with this microfiber cloth, you can just rub it, because it's so sort of fine, it's less likely to damage the material of the shirt. And I've found that it's magic in the way it's able to get rid of the last bits of adhesive residue. So microfiber cloth, and the last bit is our soon to be patented current tool that we use for many things: flock, vinyl removal. It's a really versatile tool. This is an absolute essential tool to being able to remove vinyl name sets or flock sponsors. So the key with it is to kind of use the correct solvent, and then with this you kind of scrape behind, you try and lift the sponsor or the name set behind, and you really try and kind of work it down gradually. Clean it. If you're doing vinyl removals, then make sure you clean it regularly, sort of with every scrape, because vinyl that has come off onto it, especially if it's coloured vinyl, you can end up smudging the material by rubbing it back into the shirt. So give it a scrape, wipe it off. I use a little ceramic pot, have some kitchen roll to hand, wipe it clean, and then keep going down. You can use it forcefully for flock, almost in a bit of a sweeping action to get behind it, or for the vinyl, just a standard move down. But this is a really, really essential tool. You can make your own ones. We can sell you a pair. So they're relatively easy to get. Just drop us a comment or contact us on either Instagram or Twitter, and we can arrange for one to be delivered. So they are our 5 top tips. We've talked about the Wonderweb for hems and sleeve cuffs. We talked about the razor for debobbling. We talked about the little cutthroat razor with the lint roller and the steps for cleaning up flock sponsors. And we talked about the 2 wonder tools that we have. So I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments. If not, please remember to click like and subscribe, because it really helps our channel to get noticed. And thank you very much.